from towering humanoid skeletons to mysterious giants creeping on mountain peaks.
No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
Strange sightings across the globe have left people in awe. So hang on to witness the unbelievable moments when the camera captured what no one was supposed to see.
We see at Monte Prama are totally separate structures for where they buried their deceased, and these are called the giants' tombs, Tomba dei Giganti.
Underneath the church of Sant Anastasia, both of these individuals dug up, at different periods of time, multiple skeletons of giants.
In 1979, archaeological digs on an island revealed an extraordinary discovery: giant bones. Workers reported finding skeletons between 9 and 12 feet tall. The discoveries caused excitement, but the bones mysteriously disappeared later, often vanishing overnight after being stored in a nearby church. Many similar findings were also reported, but the evidence was said to be hidden or removed. Some believed this was part of an effort to suppress the truth about giants, whether for political, religious, or unknown reasons. The disappearance of the bones still remains unknown.
Did ancient astronauts visit Sardinia?
I think there is no doubt that extraterrestrials visited Sardinia in ancient times.
Creepy bones. A local passing through the mountains of Hawaii made an unexpected discovery. In the distance, scattered across the ground, were giant bones, skulls, limbs, and other skeletal remains of a creature far larger than anything he had ever seen. The size was undeniable, something monstrous. He couldn't help but wonder if it was a prehistoric being that had somehow appeared now, or if archaeologists had uncovered it and left it behind. Many thoughts filled his mind, but no answers were in sight. The mystery of these giant remains continued to haunt him, adding another layer to the island's hidden secrets. King Nimrod's relics. A video from 2004 has been going viral online, showing a collection of ancient artifacts that are leaving people in amazement. Among the items are small statues of a humanoid figure, well preserved, complete with a crown and intricate details. What makes this discovery even more intriguing is the claim that these relics could belong to King Nimrod, a legendary figure mentioned in Genesis as a mighty hunter and king who founded several cities in ancient Mesopotamia. As more people discussed the connection, it sparked more speculation. Could these artifacts truly belong to this ancient ruler, or was there more to this mysterious discovery? Giant footprint.
In my opinion, probably the greatest example of a giant footprint.
While hiking in a hilly area, a man stumbled upon an incredible sight: a perfectly shaped human-like footprint embedded in a rock. Out of curiosity, he stood next to it. The footprint was the same size as the hiker himself. This meant the being it belonged to would have been unimaginably large. Experts later examined the find and estimated it to be about 200 million years old, dating back to a time after the dinosaurs. During those ages, creatures were much larger than we can imagine today. It's a reminder of how lucky we are that such massive beings don't share our world, because that would make survival nearly impossible.
What's fascinating about it, it's obviously very clearly a footprint.
Cyclops skull.
The skeleton looked sort of human-like, only much bigger and a little stranger. Next thing you know, bada boom, bada bing, bada bam, you have a cyclops.
On a typical fall day in the Midwest, farmhands uncovered an astonishing discovery: a massive skull with a single, large eye socket right in the center of its forehead. The ancient Greeks believed fossils like these belonged to the Cyclops, giants with one enormous eye. Some suggested that cyclopia, a rare genetic condition, could also explain such features. However, scientists proposed a different theory. They believed that the skull might have belonged to an elephant, where a large nasal cavity was mistaken for an eye socket, possibly inspiring the legends of one-eyed giants in ancient myths. What do you think?
The Cyclops were ferocious and huge man-eating giants that only had one great eye in the center of their forehead.
Mountain giant.
What is it? It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
A local was driving along the highway when he noticed a strange figure on the top of a mountain just beside the road. Standing there was a giant humanoid figure, much larger than anything he'd ever seen before, despite the extreme weather and heavy snow, which made it impossible for humans to be out there. The figure stood out clearly. As he watched, it dawned on him it resembled the description of a Yeti, the famous creature from legend. Could it be that the stories were more than just myths? And while he thought about that, the figure remained frozen in the harsh weather, adding a new layer of mystery to the ancient tales.
There's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Petrified giant. A video circulating online captured the attention of both paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. It showed what appeared to be a petrified giant sitting on a mountainside, gazing out across the horizon. The formation strikingly resembles a giant human figure, sparking heated debate. Believers in ancient giants argued that this could be proof of beings like the Nephilim, turned to stone as punishment or through divine curses, preserved for eternity. Skeptics, however, suggested it's merely a natural rock formation shaped by years of erosion and weather conditions. Could this be a part of ancient mythology or something totally beyond our understanding? Mountain encounter. There are so many strange things happening around us that some of them are just beyond belief. Like this video that appeared online and made everyone confused. It showed a very thin, tall being on top of a mountain doing push-ups. Yes, you heard that right. Push-ups. It wasn't just strange, it was downright weird. People who saw it said it looked like a slender figure, the faceless being often depicted wearing a dark suit, and known for haunting and terrifying anyone who crossed its path. Now, with this camera footage, the mystery has only deepened. Giant mysteries.
Catalina Island, California, to Martha's Vineyard. Double rows of teeth, 7 foot and taller, skeletons reported.
Reports of giant skeletons have emerged from various locations, with some witnesses describing features like double rows of teeth. Despite numerous accounts, no verified skeletons have ever been displayed in museums. Some believe the bones were either lost or hidden, while others think they were intentionally concealed. Legends of giants, similar to those found in ancient texts and mythologies, appear across many cultures. Could these stories have been inspired by real, giant beings that once roamed the earth, or were they simply myths passed down through generations?
1,000 individual accounts, but to date there is not one verified giant bone at a museum. That's the big mystery. Where are the bones?
Enkidu's origins.
What is fascinating about the Epic of Gilgamesh is the fact that it relates to us a story of Enkidu, who allegedly was a giant.
In ancient Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh tells the tale of King Gilgamesh and his wild companion Enkidu. Described as a giant with extraordinary strength, Enkidu lived outside human society, often referred to as a hairy, wild man. Some believe Enkidu's origins could be tied to extraterrestrial beings. Ancient Sumerian texts mention the Anunnaki, gods who might have been aliens, possibly leaving their genetic mark on Enkidu. This theory suggests that Enkidu and similar creatures like Bigfoot could be connected to otherworldly beings. It raises the possibility that ancient myths and the creatures we encounter today might have extraterrestrial roots.
The Epic of Gilgamesh as being a hairy, man-like monster with great strength.
Brazil encounter.
Tá no zoom máximo aqui.
In Paraná, Brazil, locals were roaming the woods when they noticed a strange figure coming down from the mountains. The being was unusually long and skinny, making the locals wonder if it could be an extraterrestrial. Thankfully, they were far enough to remain unseen, but as they watched, the figure moved closer, and soon, not one, but 2 similar beings stood on top of the hill. Already familiar with Brazil's reputation for UFO sightings, these guys weren't entirely shocked. What they had just seen confirmed their suspicions. They had encountered more otherworldly creatures. Giant legends.
In 1911, giant bones were found in Lovelock Cave. Large human skulls and skeletons that measured between 7 and 8 feet in height, which for ancient man would have been rather significant.
In 1911, two miners in Lovelock, Nevada, stumbled upon a shocking discovery where over 40 skeletons were found inside a cave, some standing over 7 feet tall. The bones were accompanied by artifacts, including enormous sandals, hinting at an ancient race of giants. Local Paiute legends spoke of fierce battles with red-haired giants called the Saiduka, who were said to be cannibals. According to the tales, these giants were trapped in the same cave where these bones were found. The artifacts, combined with historical accounts, gave weight to the legend, leaving many to think how much of the story was myth and how much was history.
If you go back and look through the records, and you can find numerous accounts of bones, skeletons, and giant-sized artifacts that have been found in this area.
Mammoth skull. In 2015, a farmer in Michigan was installing a drainage system on his land when he made an incredible discovery. He unearthed a skeleton, including a skull so massive that a crane was needed to lift it. Researchers conducted tests on the find and confirmed it was the skull of a woolly mammoth. They estimated it to be 15,000 years old. The remains were found 10 feet underground. Despite their efforts, only 20% of the animal's bones were recovered. The rest of the skeleton might still be buried much deeper, just waiting to be uncovered. Nephilim Cave. A group of explorers entered into a remote cave, long abandoned and shrouded in mystery. What they found was astonishing. A colossal humanoid face carved into the wall. The figure had a beard and a single eye, its size far surpassing that of any human. Locals believed it to be the head of a Nephilim, a mythical giant. As they searched further, they discovered other ancient statues scattered around the cave. These relics hinted at an unknown civilization, possibly created by the giants themselves. The cave stretched deeper into the earth, and the explorers speculated that even more secrets lay hidden in the unexplored depths. Bigfoot encounter. While exploring a remote cave, an explorer came across an unbelievable sight. From a small hole in the cave's entrance, he saw a dark face peeking through, watching him. It wasn't just any creature. It was the notorious Bigfoot, a figure spoken of only in legends. Now stared right at him. He couldn't believe his eyes. He was so lucky that the creature was at a distance, because if it had gotten closer, he knew its approach wouldn't have been taken as friendly. For a moment, it seemed like the legends had come to life, and the world of myth was now part of his reality. Mountain discovery. In Peru, locals were left stunned when they spotted not one, but two humanoid figures crouched atop a mountain. At first, they seemed smaller, but then one of them stood up, revealing a height far greater than anyone expected. Their slender bodies only added more to the mystery, leading the locals to immediately think of the infamous alien descriptions. These strange figures were seen only once, and after that, they disappeared without a trace. Despite searches, no one has ever seen them again, leaving the locals to wonder if the figures were truly extraterrestrial or something far more mysterious. Vampire burial discovery. Archaeologists in Poland made a scary discovery when they uncovered the remains of a woman believed to have been a vampire, dating back to the 17th century. The burial site included strange and weird items, such as a sickle placed across her neck and a padlock on her foot. These were ancient measures meant to stop the lifeless from rising back up, which highlights widespread fears of vampires in the past. This discovery offered a rare glimpse into how people once protected themselves from supernatural risks and threats, revealing the darker side of burial practices meant to keep the living safe from what they feared. Mountain giant. In a quiet part of Mexico, locals were going about their daily routines when one of them spotted an unusual thing on top of a mountain. A giant humanoid figure stood there, towering above the landscape. As more people noticed, fear quickly spread. The figure resembled an ape-like creature, and many believed it was a Sasquatch, known for its mysterious appearances. Just as quickly as it had appeared, the figure disappeared behind the hills, leaving everyone stunned and thinking if they had truly seen it, or if it was just a strange vision. It was never seen again. Mountain Giant. While locals were enjoying the view in Laos, something strange caught their attention. Amid the thick fog surrounding the city, they saw a figure standing on top of a distant mountain, though far away. Its size and shape were unmistakable, hinting at something much larger than a normal person. The locals speculated it might be a giant, but which one? No one could say for sure. Was it a creature from local legends, or something much more mysterious? Whatever it was, its presence left everyone questioning the true nature of what they had seen. Sardinia Giants.
What we see at Monte Prama are totally separate structures for where they buried their deceased, and these are called the giants' tombs, tomba de gigant. They are typically made of one very large stone that have a semi-hemispherical entry area or front that curves inward, with the center part having a small hole down at the bottom, which is where the skeleton would have been interred.
In 1974, a farmer in Sardinia's Monte Prama region was plowing his field when he hit something unusual. It turned out to be the head of a massive ancient statue. He uncovered more pieces. Statues of archers, warriors, and boxers, all about 8 feet tall and weighing nearly a ton. These were made by the Nuragic people who lived on the island 4,000 years ago. Some believe the statues represent giants from old legends. Nearby, mysterious tombs thought to belong to giants were also discovered. Though giant skeletons were reportedly found, much of the evidence had vanished. But the mystery surrounding these giants continues to captivate those studying the island's ancient history.
You realize is that it's entirely made of large blocks with a small opening in the base. In tradition, these were the burial places designed for giants. They would actually build the tomb around it. This is one of the clues that kind of links with the legends that giants did exist in Sardinia.
Cave Watcher. A local wandering through the woods noticed a strange hole in the side of a mountain. It was the entrance to a cave, but something or someone was watching him from within. It wasn't human. The figure resembled a humanoid being, much like the descriptions of Bigfoot. Its sheer size and weird presence were enough to scare them. Luckily for him, the cave opening was high up and far out of reach. The distance was his only safety, as the creature remained in its domain. If it had been closer, he might not have made it out of those woods alive. Elongated Mystery.
Among the largest of them, we find skulls 60% heavier than normal human skulls and a brain capacity that is 2.5 times larger than the normal human brain.
In 2012, the discovery of Paracas skull number 44 stunned researchers. Weighing 2.8 pounds, it was 25% heavier than a typical adult male skull and had a cranial capacity 20% larger than normal. What set it apart even more was the lack of a sagittal suture, a feature found in all human skulls. This skull was one of many elongated ones discovered along the southern coast of Peru, dating back to an ancient civilization. While some believe head binding caused the elongation, others argued that the skulls showed features beyond this. DNA testing on Skull 44 revealed segments that didn't match any known human DNA, hinting at a mysterious, possibly extraterrestrial origin.
Initial DNA testing has been done, and the results, according to the geneticist, are quite startling. There were certain segments of the DNA that didn't match anything known to be human.
Giant skull discovery. While hiking in Meteora, Greece, a hiker reached the top of a mountain and noticed something unusual between two hills. Curious, he zoomed in with his camera. only to get scared at what he saw. It was the skull of a giant, separated from its body, and its size suggested it could belong to Bigfoot or something much larger. The skull appeared ancient, as if it had been there for a very long time, unreachable by anyone. The hiker couldn't help but wonder how it ended up in such a remote location, and you might be thinking the same, right? Giant handprints. While hiking atop Wyoming's White Mountain, a man discovered an unusual sight: enormous handprints etched into the rocks. These prints were far larger than any human hand, almost twice the size. Could they be remnants of giants who once roamed the earth, as ancient stories suggest? Some believe the petroglyphs might hold clues to a time when massive beings walked the land. The discovery had sparked an intense debate. Are these simply weathered rock carvings, or was there evidence of a past much larger and more mysterious than we could ever imagine? Cave encounter. A group of friends set off to explore a cave no one had dared to enter before. As they ventured deeper, they suddenly came face to face with a dark figure blocking their path, staring right at them. It resembled a jinn from Islamic culture, known for scaring people and its ability to change shapes, something no one else could do. Though the sight was unsettling, the group wasn't too frightened. Still, they decided it was best to turn around and leave the cave before their luck ran out. Hidden Temple Discovery. While exploring the woods, an explorer stumbled upon a mysterious cave that led to an unexpected discovery. Inside, he found what appeared to be an ancient temple, untouched by time. The walls were lined with intricate engravings, and towering statues of old gods stood proudly, including one of the famous Buddha, a revered figure in Chinese culture. It was a breathtaking sight, an entire world hidden beneath the earth, filled with artifacts and designs telling stories of a long-lost civilization. This discovery revealed a hidden chapter of history, one that had remained concealed from the world for centuries. Giant sighting. In 2023, a hiker in Taiwan had an encounter that shocked him. While hiking on top of a mountain, he noticed an unusual sight in the distance. Curious, he zoomed in with his camera, only to be scared by what he saw. Two humanoid figures standing tall on the peak. Their size was so massive that they seemed to tower over the mountain itself. The hiker, unsure of what they were, immediately thought they could be aliens, and fearing the unknown, he quickly decided to head back down, realizing that it might be best to stay far away from whatever was out there. Eyes in dark. While exploring a cave, a group of friends was recording their adventure when one of them pointed the camera toward a dark corner. As the camera zoomed in, two pairs of glowing eyes appeared, staring right at them. The air seemed to grow colder as the eyes watched, unblinking. The friend, horrified by the sight, immediately stopped filming. He didn't want to know what creature those eyes belonged to. Terrified, they quickly turned around and made a hasty exit, all while agreeing never to return to that cave again. Good call, cause the memory of those eyes still haunts them to this day. Vampire's grave.
Of a very old vampire.
While strolling through his neighborhood, a local made a strange discovery. In the middle of the city, tucked away in an unexpected spot, was an unusual grave. As he got closer, his eyes were drawn to a peculiar design etched into the stone, an image of a skull. The symbol was unmistakable, long associated with vampires. It left the locals wondering, could there be something more to this grave? Was there truly a vampire resting inside, or was it just an eerie coincidence? The mystery remains, with no answers in sight.
Local legend says this person was a vampire, 1720.
Mysterious hands. In 2016, a scary video surfaced from a cave in Iraq, capturing a group of locals hurriedly sealing a hole in the ground. They appeared frightened, working quickly to block whatever was trying to come out. As the camera rolled, black hands began to reach out of the hole, desperately grasping for freedom. But the locals acted fast, closing it off before anything could escape. The unsettling footage left many confused, with viewers speculating about what it could have been. Some believed it was a ghost trying to break through, while others wondered if there was something more sinister at play. What do you think? Goatman encounter. Two friends set out for a night hike, eager for a late-night adventure. But their excitement quickly turned to fear when they noticed a pair of glowing eyes watching them from the darkness. Intrigued and terrified, they zoomed in and gasped. The creature they saw had large, freaky horns like a goat, but its body was more human-like. The legends of the Goatman, half man, half goat creature, flashed in their minds. Feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, they decided it was time to head back, not daring to remain any longer in the creepy night. Giant hands. In the fall of 2011, archaeologists in Egypt uncovered a shocking discovery: 16 oversized human hands buried in 4 graves within the ancient city of Avaris. The hands, dating back around 600 years, were much larger than normal, indicating they belonged to individuals who were specially selected for a ceremony. 2 hands were buried separately, possibly for a ritual meant to please the gods. This find aligned with ancient Egyptian beliefs that soldiers cut off their enemies' right hands as trophies, a symbolic act tied to supernatural forces. Some experts suggested that the hands could be linked to the mythical Hyperborean civilization, hinting at a past much larger than expected. Buddha discovery. While hiking through the hills in China, a curious hiker stumbled upon an unexpected sight: a hidden cave. Intrigued, he entered and was left in awe by what he found inside. There, standing tall, was a giant statue of Buddha, an iconic figure deeply rooted in Chinese culture. The statue seemed ancient, untouched by time, and the air inside felt still, as though no one had set foot in there for centuries. As he explored further, the walls were covered with intricate engravings, possibly offering clues to the cave's thriving past. The man couldn't believe his eyes. It felt like he had discovered a secret world, untouched by modern life. Alien legend. In northern Chile, just west of the Atacama Desert, locals share stories of a legendary creature. According to their tales, the creature transforms into a massive dog when it leaves its cave. However, as soon as it re-enters the cave, it shifts back into an alien-like monster. A group of explorers went to the cave and claimed to have filmed this mysterious creature. However, critics quickly dismissed the video, suggesting it was staged, but it turned out that it wasn't staged at all. Interestingly, just west of the cave, a small mummified alien was once discovered, though experts denied its extraterrestrial origins. Does that mean they were doing this all so people don't end up knowing about them? You decide. Shapeshifter. A drone flying over the fields captured an incredible sight. 2 animals were running swiftly from left to right, heading towards some trees. As they disappeared behind them, only one animal reappeared. But this time, something shocking happened. The creature seemed to change shape before the drone's camera, transforming into a human-like figure in mere seconds. This strange event left everyone stunned. Many believed it was a skinwalker, a creature from folklore known for its ability to shapeshift and perform impossible feats. Witnessing this strange transformation was enough to make anyone think twice about the boundaries of reality. Mountain giant.
Look.
While exploring the hills, a tourist was admiring the breathtaking scenery when suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he noticed an incredible sight. A giant hand, unlike anything he had ever seen, seemed to close a door built into the mountain. In that moment, he realized he had just witnessed something no one had before. A Sasquatch, a creature said to live in these hills, but never truly seen. Terrified by the sight, he knew it was time to leave. His heart raced as he quickly turned to go, knowing he had encountered something beyond his understanding.
Look, look.
Mountain Mystery. A video from the Indonesian mountains shows a mysterious creature walking under a waterfall. Many believe it could be the Bigfoot, a giant ape known to walk upright, commonly associated with North America. Experts suggested the creature was over 8 feet tall and might be living in the forest. The video, though unclear, didn't seem tampered with, adding more to the mystery. Despite various theories, including the idea that Bigfoot might be extinct, this footage raised much speculation. To this day, no one has spotted the creature again though. So, what do you think? Could it really be Bigfoot, or was there something else hiding in the mountains? Giant discovery.
As president of the Bigfoot community, I think the truth is very important. It is. And getting the message out that Bigfoot is real, that's the truth.
A video recently went viral, sparking massive debate online. In it, a researcher presented a skull, claiming it belonged to a giant, human-like being, none other than the Sasquatch. The researcher boldly suggested that this legendary creature, long rumored to roam the forests in mythology, might actually exist after all. However, authorities quickly dismissed this claim, stating it wasn't true. Despite their denial, the video has caught the attention of many, leaving people to think if there's more to the story. Mysterious footprint. While exploring the rocky shore near the water, a tourist stumbled upon a massive footprint carved into the rock. The size was far beyond anything human, yet the shape resembled a human foot perfectly. The weight required to leave such an impression was mind-boggling. Some say it could belong to a Sasquatch, the legendary creature known for leaving giant tracks, while others thought it was made by a giant human from ancient times. No one knows for sure, but the discovery has everyone speculating. Could this be proof of something mythical, or just an unusual, natural formation? Vampire burials. In a burial site in Kilteashean, Ireland, archaeologists uncovered unusual graves. Among the bodies, some were found with large stones placed forcefully in their mouths. These burials seem to indicate a belief that the deceased might rise from the grave. Similar finds around Europe tell of bodies being staked or chained to prevent reanimation. In medieval times, people feared revenants, evil, immortal souls. Theories suggested that these extraordinary burials were part of ancient rituals to prevent the lifeless from returning. This fear of the immortal eventually morphed into the vampire myths we recognize today, blending fact with folklore over the centuries. Vanishing creature. A group of friends went down ancient tunnels and stumbled upon a strange figure. In the darkness, it was hard to see initially, but when the area lit up, they noticed a small bipedal creature darting in front of them. When they tried to chase it, the creature vanished into thin air. This unusual encounter sparked inquiries about who or what the creature was and what it could have been doing in these tunnels all along. Tentacled Slender Man. While hiking up the mountain, this guy stumbled upon an unnerving sight. A giant human-like figure with numerous tentacles emerging from it loomed in the distance. The rest of the body remained hidden behind the trees, making it hard to fully grasp what he was seeing. He quickly made the connection. This was no ordinary creature. It was a Slender Man. With fear creeping in, he felt it had been watching him and stalking him. Realizing the risk, he didn't waste another moment to rush down the mountain, eager to escape whatever he had just encountered. Skull Tower. The Skull Tower, located on the east side, presents a scary sight. Numerous skulls were mounted on a fence-like structure and secured with mortar. The The tower, 16 feet in diameter, is thought to have been part of a skull rack once belonging to a grand temple now buried beneath the modern city. This ancient structure, known as the Tzompantli, stood at the corner of a chapel dedicated to the Aztec capital's patron. The Aztecs, a group of Nahuatl-speaking people, dominated central Mexico from the 14th to the 16th centuries until the Spanish conquistadors overthrew their empire in 1521. Historians suggest that many of the remains were from captured warriors, displayed to instill fear in their enemies. Giant or shadow?
That thing's kind of creepy.
In recent footage from Salt Lake City, Utah, something strange appeared near a busy rock quarry. A mysterious silhouette formed against the evening clouds, looking like a massive figure perched on the mountainside. Onlookers were captivated by the strange sight. Theories began to spread, with some suggesting it might be connected to quarry operations, while others speculated it was a giant humanoid living on the mountain. Yet, despite numerous similar reports, this one still remains unconfirmed to this day.
I'm sorry. If it was your mountain, I'm sorry I broke it.
Giant sighted in Brazil. A strange video surfaced online, sending shockwaves through the community of São Tomé das Letras. The footage showed a giant figure standing atop a mountain. It resembled a human, but was much larger, towering over the landscape. The mysterious being appeared for just a moment before disappearing, leaving no trace behind. Locals were left unsettled by the encounter, but some felt relieved that it had vanished as quickly as it appeared, never to return. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day.
Try and put myself here for reference. It actually looks pretty cool.
While exploring caves in Thailand, a tourist stumbled upon an unbelievable sight. He discovered a giant skeleton, unlike anything he'd ever seen before. The humanoid figure was enormous, its size towering over anything he'd encountered in his life. Many believed it might have been a prehistoric giant, a creature from ancient times that once roamed the earth. Thankfully, these giants no longer existed, or else life in today's world might have been a lot harder for humans to survive, right?
But you can see where it was made out of concrete.